Okay, we're live. I'm gonna hit recording on to in here. Okay, this is where we can fuck around a little bit. Ah, hello, YouTube. Yes, we're just doing YouTube things. It's gonna be fun, actually.
Yeah,
because
I'm sure we'll want to watch in, maybe.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Text here. Camera. Do this. We're gonna do this live on the YouTube. Because Cole's one of our fans. Yay. 3, 2, 1, go. No, don't make that from her. That's your sister, okay? She wants to put it in her mouth, okay? All the way to lunch. Welcome to the Beardful Hat podcast.
Yeah,
that's the first ever time we did the theme song on the live stream.
Yeah,
Second episode in, and we're already doing fucking things.
We're audio layering stuff in. Victor's a tech genius here. So welcome. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Yes, hope you guys enjoyed it. I did that all together. It didn't take long, but holy shit, it pieces together.
Yeah.
So today's going to be a very exciting episode. We talk about this topic a lot in certain episodes, and we did talk about this in our Two Fun Guys episode. So Walker, how was your week?
It's been a long week, we'll say that much.
I don't get much gossip because I'm not at work yet.
Yeah.
Last week though, so after next week of me being all rested and cheerful, I'm gonna be tired as fuck. I'm gonna be so tired going back to work.
But you'll be happy again.
I'll be happy. Yeah.
You'll be happy to be working, not happy again.
I'll be happy to work because fuck. Being at home is just holy shit. Just oh my god. It drives me crazy.
No, it's very different, especially when you do work as much as you do.
Yeah. And it's like I've been off for next week will be 6 weeks. Off for 6 weeks, a month and a half.
God damn.
A month and a half.
It's been a fast.
Would I trade it in for anything?
No.
I would not trade it. I would do it again.
It was a nice little break.
Nice little long break. But fuck, I miss working.
Yeah.
This has been working since I got out of high school, and holy shit. But yeah, I only get a lot of gossip from Walker when he comes over.
And we don't do it too much on the episode.
No, we don't really do that because I do ask Walker because it's fun to talk about life on the podcast. Because what's life without the podcast? What's
a podcast without life?
Exactly. I'll get that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
T-shirt. Copyright.
Yeah, that's ours. Nobody take it.
Nobody take it. So, Walker. Is there any? I just showed you the Lord of the Rings trailer.
Yes.
That's coming out next month.
The animated movie. It looks like a Castlevania type animation. Yeah.
War of Hero.
Rohirrim? Yeah, Rohirrim.
Fucking whatever.
Something like that. Yeah.
It looks fucking sweet.
I like the animation style. I think it's going to be very interesting. You were telling me that it's not like canon to the lore though, unless that one it will be canon.
I don't think it will be canon because it's not. It's part of the universe.
Yeah.
But it's just.
It's aside from the actual whole Rings story. Yeah.
Percy Jackson. No, not Percy Jackson. The guy who made Lord of the Rings.
Oh God.
Peter Jackson. There we go. Peter Jackson.
Oh, okay.
the guy who made the first original trilogy of Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay, the movies. I was sitting there thinking,
He is
yeah.
helping producing it.
Okay.
I think he's got his hands in the cookie jar.
And you know what? He's got like his vision is very true to J.R.R. Tolkien.
Yes, yep. The only thing that doesn't have in Lord of the Rings is Tom Bombadil.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think he was a very aggressive character, kind of an out there kind of character though.
He was like a character which in the Rings of Power they bring him in.
Oh, very
I
good.
just finally met him. Holy shit, he does a good job.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, showed you that trailer. We were talking a little bit about Lord of the Rings before the podcast. So, and we were talking about the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight.
Yes, which we're live streaming right now, but that's going to be happening in a few hours.
A few hours, yeah.
Yeah.
It says 8 o'clock, but that's when everything first starts.
Yeah, that's when you see the opening fights, all
but apparently the fight
fancy
doesn't
shows.
happen until like 11 o'clock.
Yeah, they always wait right to the very end for the title fight. Classic UFC fighting type move.
It's classic UFC, classic boxing. But
they got to keep you there for more than just a few rounds, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, we were just overhearing from a guy that I was helping put a tarp with his father-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
That Jake Paul changed some shit.
Yeah, changed his contract with Tyson at the last moment, so he can't just get knocked out round one and have a huge payout.
Honestly, all he needs to do is if you knock me out, just you're gonna get paid, but not the way you think you're gonna get paid.
Mm-hmm.
But let's have an honest and God fight. And that's what I think it should be happening, but it doesn't. It won't work like that.
Yeah, we're gonna see the results of it tonight. If not tonight, I'm watching it on YouTube tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Everything's gonna be loaded for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
All those pirated different.
Yeah. I know a guy. I think it was the hockey game.
Okay.
No, it was a UFC fight.
Yep.
And it was on my old Facebook, and he was live streaming it on Facebook, and Facebook took it down. Because I'm guessing it was like a UFC copyright.
I've seen people get around it in YouTube Live where they'll hold a controller and pretend like they're playing a video game.
There's ways around it.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny. There's ways around the copyrights and stuff. Because I used to play Minecraft and watch behind the scenes of Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm. And
the guy would just tape on his computer or whatever of like the scenes and stuff. And it would just like in the corners and somewhere like saying, this is copyright from blah blah blah. Like I make no money off of this. Blah blah blah.
As long as you're putting your full citing your sources, it technically is a good way around it.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, you can't monetize it.
No, you can't. So before we get into the episode, which I heard straight to you guys. I'm drinking ginger ale because I don't have any alcohol.
Yep. Reinhardt's Red Apple Cider. Fun stuff.
I just like hearing the noise. I was drinking Rockstar, but I'm going to say that for later for when I play games.
Yeah, makes sense. I drank the Red Bull earlier just to catch up, keep the energy somewhat up. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I had like a Rockstar earlier, and I was saying, Return the Moria.
Oh.
Fuck, I fucking started that game like no tomorrow. I've like made like 4 or 5 worlds already. It's fun to get into, but it's hard to get into.
Just because it is a very difficult level scaling RPG sort of deal. Yeah.
No, it's like you start off with basics of 5, like a simple pickaxe.
Oh yeah.
But you want to upgrade more, but you have to go deeper into the mine to do all that. So since I've been playing it like nonstop now, I just fucking speedrunning it to where you're supposed to go before you actually go into the Mines of Moria.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, but you are able to cross-play this game.
Oh,
and
it's a multiplayer
game. And there is, if you go to the loading screen of the game, there's like the URP code thing.
Okay.
Where you can put your phone up to it.
Oh, QR code. Yeah.
That it brings you to the website.
Mm-hmm.
So you can join the Discord.
Oh.
I'll show you the Discord right now.
Oh, it's one of those games where it has its own Discord community. Yeah. So if you want to play with someone, just like drop it in like the message boards. Oh, that's kind of cool.
So right here.
Well, that's very cool.
Yeah. So if I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, it's a little harder to see, but that's okay.
Yeah. It's got like channels and spoiler chat and a whole bunch of stuff. And there's chats for cross-platform groups. PC looking for groups. PlayStation 5 looking for groups. Xbox looking for groups. Seed exchanges.
Oh, okay, very
So
cool.
you can put like different. It's like Minecraft.
Yeah. And it changes the map a little bit. Okay.
The map stays the same, but the layout of the map doesn't really change.
Okay.
The map's like straightforward, but the layout of the map is different.
Okay. That's pretty neat.
I've noticed it after playing it like 6 times. But today, this episode, it's not about Lord of the Rings, as I stated in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Thing is that, of course, YouTubers or YouTube can tell by the episode.
Mm-hmm.
HBO The Last of Us. Walker just finally watched it.
Yes,
but forgot my discs.
Yes, I meant to bring them over.
I'm done.
Yes. But no, it was very good. Thank you for lending them to me, because my gosh, like if you played the game, it's fantastic. If you've seen the series, it does the game such good justice.
Mm-hmm.
Like every actor is very well casted, I think. Like the show hits. Okay, maybe not every actor, but the show hits very well. It's very well done. It stays true to the story while also adding more to it.
A little bit of a twist, but adds a little bit more.
Yeah.
Which is one episode we'll get into, which we talked about last week. This is an amazing episode.
Yeah. They just curated a lot very well.
So overall, Walker, what would you give this show? 9 out of 10, or 0 out of 10? What would you give it? Honest opinion. You just watched it.
I just watched it. Yes. Am I allowed to do half ratings?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't give it a perfect 10 out of 10. It's a damn good show. There's not too many shows I can give a 10 out of 10 though. I'm going to start off by saying that I think Last of Us gets an 8.5 out of 10, if not a 9 out of 10.
That's pretty high though.
Yeah, it is very high. Yeah, I was very impressed with the acting. It was, like I said, very true to its original story plot, while also making the characters feel like their own. Like they're not staying restricted to the fact that these actors play these characters in the game. And while I was a little off put by that at the start, the actors do very well. Like they come into their roles and like they make it work very well. And the storytelling, while maybe a bit tangential at times, was very straightforward. You could follow it, and you got to see all the different aspects of humanity during the apocalypse. It was, I could not be more impressed with how they handled it and how they represented it. And one of the coolest things I liked about it is they did a lot of very cinematic shots where they'd show all like the decrepit landscape. They'd show a lot more like passive scenes of Ellie and Joel walking, and you got the feel of this is the world now. It's dilapidated 20 years later.
I like that. Mm-hmm. When they're walking down the highway.
Yeah.
It's basically like you're in the game. You are walking down the street.
Yeah.
You are walking where because in the game it's different. You get to explore.
Yeah.
In the show, you're just sitting there.
But you still get that third person view over the shoulder as they're traveling. Yeah.
So who wouldn't? Because I know you watch people play the game.
Yes, I've watched PewDiePie play the game back when he was big, obviously.
Yeah.
I've seen, I think it was not Markiplier. Oh, excuse me. There was another YouTuber that was very popular back at the time that I watched a few playthroughs of, but PewDiePie is like the main one that I watched.
So, in the game, who was your favorite character?
In the game?
Yes, in the game.
It has to be Joel. It's very bitch made, very straight to the point, but it is Joel.
I understand why you chose Joel.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, it's Joel.
Yeah.
Because like you grow with the character.
Oh, 100%.
You are with Joel from maybe 15 minutes after Sarah in the beginning of the game.
Yep.
And then until the end. You are there. You do a little bit. Spoilers. Do a little bit with Ellie, but that's not much.
Mm-hmm.
But you do majority of the game with Joel. So mm-hmm. I'm with you 100%. Joel is my favorite character.
Oh, it's
second is Bill.
That fair enough. It's the father character. He's also somewhat of a survivalist. I love how in the show, I'm pretty sure in the game, like Tara, his girlfriend, or Tetra.
Tara is in the show they portray them as a couple.
Okay, yeah.
In the game, they do not.
Okay, but Tara, like, she calls him out, like, don't go all Clint Eastwood on him, like, but I very much like how both in the game and the show, he is that strong male character.
He is Clint Eastwood what he needs to be.
Like, he is resourceful, he's smart, he's cunning, but at the same time, he's caring. He knows how to take care of himself and others. You know what? He did some shitty things. He admits to that, but at the same time, you can see that he's already gotten better as a character, and his trust changes throughout the story.
Throughout the story, yes, because in the beginning, as I said earlier, spoilers, he loses all strength of humanity once Sarah dies.
Yes.
He loses it. And, oh my God.
And that's when he starts to become more vicious with Tommy, right?
He gets cold. He becomes cold. He doesn't feel the urge to live anymore, but he has to because of Tommy.
Yeah.
In the game, it's a slight difference from the show, because of course, yes. Because what I'm going to say now is that people who haven't played the game watch the show because it will introduce you to want to play the game.
Yes.
But people who had played the game will pinpick and poke and pry the TV show.
Oh yeah. And there is a lot of moments you can kind of pull open and say, oh, this is different, this is weird, like, why did they do it this way?
This is stupid.
But at the same time, I understand why they took a lot of shortcuts, because like halfway through the game is kind of like halfway through the TV series as well, where Joel gets stabbed and Ellie has to take care of him and stuff. And that was a huge twist in the game. Like, you go from all these like survival adventures, like you're helping Ellie out, all of a sudden main character's gone, and then you have to play as Ellie after this whole like cutscene. It's dramatic, you get emotional. It's like, oh my gosh, is he dead? Is he this? And like in the show, you kind of get that same suspense, but it's maybe not as suspenseful. Like,
it's not as much where you have to like, oh, why the fuck am I playing there?
Yeah.
In the show, it's like, oh, like, you get to see how Ellie is able to handle herself without Joel.
And even just like the way they tackle like travel and traversing the environment, like dealing with different enemy types, it's a lot more fun and involved in the game. In the show, you can't necessarily get that. It has to be like, okay, these characters do this to survive. They run into some clickers because you want to see those enemies. You see a bloated one just so you can see the enemy. You don't actually see a lot of fight scenes with those characters or with those enemies, because I must say, like a lot of action movies, at a certain point, it just becomes redundant. And I think it's good that they didn't focus on, oh, we're just going to kill zombies, kill...
The whole point of The Last of Us, because there are two different podcasts for The Last of Us. There's The Last of Us podcast, and then there's the HBO Last of Us podcast.
Yeah.
The first one is about the two games. The HBO podcast is actually reviews of the episodes with the actors who actually played in the shows.
Oh, very good.
They did the exact same thing with Chernobyl.
Oh, okay.
I was listening to that one, but not really.
That's one I haven't watched or heard much about.
So good.
Oh, okay, that's on the list.
Any HBO show besides like the last few seasons of Game of Thrones, spot on.
Oh, fair enough.
So, for characters for the TV show, who is your favorite? So the show shows a little bit more characters than the game does.
I think I really like Ellie. Like, I liked Ellie in the game. I think Ellie is... I really liked how the actress like portrayed Ellie in this one. What's her name again? Bella Ramsey. I haven't seen her in a lot of stuff, but... Speaking
of which, if Walker will put his phone up to the screen over here.
So look up The Last of Us just to get some quick statistics as well as get the actors' names, because it's nice to pay them respect. And Google does this fun little thing. So normally there's the scroll to the top button, but it's a little mushroom. Can you see it on the video there? Yeah. There's a little mushroom. But then also, if you stay on the page for long enough, you can see all these. Oh, they start growing.
Cool.
Yeah, it grows over. You see all the different spores, all the different mycelium covering the screen. It's like an overlay. So even as you move the screen there, the little mushroom stuff stays over just because it's what was searched.
That's kind of funny. That's kind of like the PS4's theme screen.
Yeah.
You can get for The Last of Us, and like it's the spores like connecting together on the screen.
And there was less originally. Like when I first pulled this open,
there was nothing on your screen when you first looked it up.
Yeah, and then it's slowly been growing more, like all these like red cordyceps at the bottom, and like all these fucking long mycelium. Like they've gotten longer as I've had this page open. Covers a lot of what I'm trying to look at, but it's fun that like Google got on board and like said, you know what, we're gonna have a little fun. We're like, Last of Us is very well known.
Yeah, so this is what it looks like here.
Yeah. So this is what it starts off looking like.
Just the mushroom. Just the mushroom, that's it.
Yeah.
And then slowly, gradually.
I think maybe after I clicked on the mushroom, that's when it started, but...
Yep.
Oh, there it is. Yep, it's going.
No, and it's a different design.
Yeah, mine started out like that, and then it got more.
Right. But yeah, so
Bella Ramsey, excellent. She played Ellie in a very different way than Elliot now did in the games.
Nope. You have it wrong.
No, is it not? Isn't it Ellen Page? I don't. It's.
You are looking for.
Is it not Ellen Page?
No.
Then she became Elliot. No.
Where is she?
Either way, like I really liked Ellie in the games. I really liked her actor for that. I think Bella Ramsey took it to a new height. She's a younger actress.
Ashley Johnson. Ashley Johnson is the voice of Ellie in The Last of Us 1 and 2.
Oh, okay, but she's not the motion actor. Ellen Page is the motion actor.
No, she's not.
What?
Sony almost got sued because she looked exactly like her without realizing it.
What?
The idea was for her to actually voice Ellie. I believe it was. I might be wrong. Don't quote me. But she's like, this looks really, really similar to me, and if you guys don't change it, that's why Ellie looks almost identical to her.
There's no way.
Yep. Because she. Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Wow. I always thought she was literally just the motion. What?
Yeah, but in the motions, it's actually Ashley Johnson.
Huh. That is wild. Okay, I've been operating on that assumption my entire existence of knowing Last of Us. It's insane. Okay.
He's crazy. Oh, you guys hear Ollie? It's just okay. Mm-hmm. We have a special guest with us.
It's Nova.
So
Bella Ramsey did an excellent job playing Ellie. I think as a young actress, she fell into the role very well. She encompassed the whole character, and she also like had the right amount of abrasiveness, like showed her intelligence very well.
Yeah.
Like I could not have been more pleased with like the actress they chose.
Apparently, look, we have Cole. Hello, Cole is watching. Hi.
Yo.
What was I saying? What was I saying?
What was your favorite character in the show? Or like, Ollie's being a little.
Ollie's being loud because he's hungry, he's tired. I feel like saving time really screwing him up. But my favorite character in the game, gotta say Bill.
Yeah.
Bill's 100% my favorite character.
Oh yeah. There's no way you can't like Joel.
Bill is my second because Bill has a whole bunch of booby traps in the town he's surviving in.
Yeah.
And he tells Ellie like legit like the fuck off.
Yeah.
Like don't touch my shit. And fun fact about Bill, Ollie's so loud. Yeah. Fun fact about Bill in the game is that when they were doing their screen time, like do like sit down table or whatever, the voice see the script.
Yep.
Turned around and says the guy who made the game, "Oh, this is your character. He's Bill. He has a partner, and you guys are in town, but the partner ends up like committing suicide, blah blah blah." Mm-hmm. He's like, "Okay."
He yada that for the game.
Yada. And he turned around and was like, "Okay, like what kind of partner?" He's like, "He's partner." Yeah. And the guy thought about it for a quick second. He's like, "What happens if he was my partner?"
Oh, okay. So that's where they introduced the idea of
Bill being gay.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, they don't really touch on the game.
Mm-hmm.
Which I will get into the episode after this.
Oh yeah, we will.
But in the game, like when you see Bill go to the house where Frank hangs himself, because he's just in this, and Bill's like, oh, he's like, oh, is that your partner? Yeah, that's my partner.
Yeah, the game was a lot more morbid with it, but you actually got to meet Bill in the game.
You got to meet Bill in the game, but not Frank.
Yeah.
But in the TV show, there's an episode where it goes 20 years before anything, when everything started happening in 2003.
Yep.
Bill is actually hiding in his basement.
Yes. He's a survivalist, has a bunker. He's played by the one and only Nick Offerman, the guy who plays Ron Swanson. Yeah, like the classic man's man, like classic survivalist. And from the very beginning, you see, okay, this guy's ready, this guy's prepared. He is like true.
He's like a
true independent. Yeah.
Patriot.
Yes. And
don't take my guns away.
And it's awesome. And you kind of get subverted because the episode opens with Bill. Like, you don't see anything with The Last of Us. You just see him surviving for a little bit. Yeah, setting booby traps, and then he meets Frank. And because
Frank falls into one of his booby traps.
Yeah. And from there, it just progresses so interestingly. Like, I'm not even going to lie, I was a little uncomfortable with a few of the gay scenes, but at the same time, they represented their relationship in a very healthy way.
I will say I was the same.
Yeah.
But because of course with the different generations, our generation is a slightly different from the last one.
Yeah.
Like we grew up with a whole bunch of gay stuff.
Yeah.
Like of course, like in the movies and TV shows, like it's in there. But now it's like it's just progressed, so now it's weird for us.
Yeah.
We are the legit boomers. But for Bill and Frank's episode, holy shit, I gotta say that was one of the best episodes I've ever watched in my entire life. And I've watched a lot of TV shows.
Oh, and like they still hit on the main points from the game and that interaction as Ellie and Joel get to Bill's hideout and whatever, so they can get the supplies. But at the same time, they give the relationship so much more depth. You understand the characters, Bill and Frank, more, and just why they have all these resources and how they've survived as long as they did.
So when I was listening to the HBO The Last of Us podcast, I did not know this during that episode. You know how Bill was the overweight one, not exercising, and Frank was always the one energetic, going for runs, eating healthy and all that stuff. But Frank was the one that ended up being in a wheelchair.
Yep.
And Frank wasn't, because Frank ended up having what's that disease that makes you like legit like paralyzed and MS.
Yeah, multiple sclerosis. Yeah.
And it wasn't Bill.
Oh, yeah.
They made that a big strong point in the show where Frank was like this active guy and like he was able to like stay fit.
He was younger than Bill too.
Yeah.
Like you could always tell that from the very start. And there's a lot they go over in their relationships. You see the ups and downs as like they're trying to survive, as they each prioritize different things, and as they work together not only to survive but strengthen the bond they have.
And you can see that through the whole episodes. And when Frank tells Bill that Tess and it's Tess, not Tara.
Tess.
Sorry, my bad, Tess. And Joel are coming to meet them. He flips. Like they have supplies that we need, and we need them.
Like because Frank went against Bill's very aggressive, like no, we don't talk to anyone. We stay independent. Like we stay self-sufficient. Only then did he open up it so he could get the proper meds, so that Frank could live longer, so that he could live longer, so they could have more access to things. And that relationship with Joel and Tess, although shaky at first, is what allows that story beat to continue.
And because when Frank brings Tess into the house, Joel was able to sit down and have a conversation. And he's like, you know, that fence is gonna like corrode in the next couple of years. We have some aluminum fence that like is a little bit stronger and it held up a lot better on the weather if you let us have this.
Yeah. And you know what?
They have the bond because they are both protectors.
Yeah, they're both man's men, and they understand that if they want to protect their loved ones, they're gonna have to compromise a little bit.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say about that episode of, oh my god, that show made me cry so much.
Oh, that episode, it got me genuinely emotional. I was watching it and I texted you that day, like, dude, I'm crying right now. This is fucking good. Like, I'm not gay. I'm
okay.
I'm not gay.
No homo.
I slap my homies' asses every once in a while, make gay jokes, but I was a little uncomfortable with some of the sex scenes. But or I guess there was one sex scene.
You don't really see
it's implicative, but it was like I'm not sure how to feel about this.
Like they're making out, and then he goes downstairs and that's it.
Yeah,
nothing really too big.
But from there, like you actually see that their relationship is more than just the sex.
Yeah,
it is very.
They're there for moral and it's just moral support.
Yeah,
they're there together and they're
like
just working together.
The way it ends, the way they appreciate one another, and like I think it was a much more satisfying end for both of those characters than the game provided originally.
Yeah, because Frank ends up telling Bill he wants to commit suicide and crush up these pills from my drink. But then at the end of the episode, Bill ends up doing the same, but putting it into the liquor bottle.
You put it in wine bottle. Yeah, instead of just doing it in his drink. And he did it
in his drink.
Yeah,
but also took half of it and put it in the wine bottle.
And then only after Frank asked, "Is it enough?" Bill says, "Yeah, no, I made sure. I even put some in the bottle." And then, like at that point, they kind of have like not a fight, but it's like, "Oh my gosh, why'd you do this?" And it's like, I can't live without you.
Yeah.
And there's no point of going on and surviving if I know I'm gonna be without you. And like it's poetic. It's like a Romeo and Juliet where they both go out together, eating the poison, die on the fucking tombstone. Not exactly that, obviously, but I think it's a good modern version of Romeo and Juliet, where it's not just 3 days, oh, we tried to get married, we're in love. It was a 20-year span of we are actually living for one another, we're protecting one another. Episode 3 it hit very different, and it was one of the parts that didn't follow the game as closely, but in a good way.
It was the guy who made the game was able to expand on those stories. And that's the whole point, that it was able to expand those stories. So I cannot wait until season 2 comes out. Have no release date. All we got was fucking 2025, motherfuckers. The thing is that if you notice at the last scene of that episode, it pans to the window.
Yes.
Did you notice anything familiar about the window?
I'm trying to remember. I noticed it was open. It was overlooking.
Because Bill says we left the window open, so
it wouldn't smell. Yeah.
The reason why I talk about the window is because the window looks exactly, but not all run down. It looks exactly like the window when you first start the game.
Oh, okay. I can kind of see that.
Those window shots in the first couple episodes was to direct from the game for when you open it.
And just going back to it, the cinematography, just like so beautiful. All the I know a lot of it was probably CG, I imagine. No? Really?
The cars and stuff?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, they were probably real like set pieces, but like when you're doing like Hanover shots of like the city with everything covered in vines.
Oh yeah, that. But like there's certain shots that they had like 2 to 3 blocks just fucking empty with all that shit. I've seen pictures and holy shit, it's crazy.
Yeah, like they went all out with as much of the practical effects as they could, and that just it made it feel that much more real.
So, you know what's funny?
What?
The voice actors actually appeared in the show.
You know what? Yeah, I can probably see that. Yeah.
So, the fucking black chick. What's her name?
What, Ellie's friend?
Yeah.
Actress's name? Or?
Yes. No, her actual name in the game.
Oh gosh.
You can just.
She's Sarah Miller?
No, that's Sarah.
Oh, whoops.
Sarah Mills. Sarah.
Yeah. It was.
Googling here. Googling.
Oh, Isabella Merced. She plays Dina, Ellie's friend. Yes.
No, not her.
No, is that not her? I'm pretty sure that's her. Not the one who plays Ellie's friend, or a different one?
No, different one. Okay, here we go.
Stormreed.
Marlene.
Marlene's character.
Marlene.
Okay, yeah.
Marlene is actually the same voice actor who played Marlene.
You know what? At least that's okay. She actually did a rather good job, so it was good that they kept her on. Merle Dandridge. That's her name.
And then for the game, which everybody should know this voice actor because he played multiple things. Troy Baker.
Okay.
Troy Baker has played in a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He played Sam in Uncharted 4. He played Talion in Shadow of the Mordor.
Oh, okay.
There's a bunch of other things, but he plays one of the cannibals. In the show.
Okay.
The very last season. So Ashley Johnson plays Ellie's mom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Plays Ellie's mom in the final episode. If you haven't watched it, it's a really good segue on how Ellie was able to survive.
Yes, it helps make it a lot more clear than I think it was in the game. To be quite honest, I don't know how she technically survives or how she has a cure.
You don't know. That's the thing. That's the perfect thing about the show. That he was able to do that. And like, okay, she was bit, and then Ellie was born. She cut the neck out.
Yeah.
Such a good, like, I don't know if she was bit and then Ellie was born, or
she was bit as Ellie was being born. So like and she was able to cut the umbilical cord as the cordyceps was getting into her, and like. The explanation that Marlene gives Joel is the same that's in the game, where it's like, when she was born, she had the cordyceps within her, so whenever she's bitten, it recognizes her as one of them because she grew up with the cordyceps within her, and she's producing essentially an antibody or a receptor that says, "Hi, no, I'm a mushroom, don't kill me." And that's why they want to harvest her brain. So you get that much from the game in that final scene where Marlene tells Joel, where it's like, oh no, she produces these antibodies essentially because she has the cordyceps in her. That's why we need to harvest her brain because the cordyceps grows in your mind.
So the guy who voiced Tommy in the game, he plays that one chick's like right hand man that gets ripped in half.
Oh, okay, yeah. I hated that trick. Kathleen, whatever, the leader of the resistance group in the one quarantine zone.
The right-hand man, voice of Tommy.
Oh, very good. I thought I recognized the voice. Not even gonna lie to you. Like, cool.
So, I loved it because Troy Baker was actually the first pick. It was his actual first pick to play Joel.
Oh.
And he's like, no, I can't because I already voiced him. I don't look like Joel.
Yeah. Pedro Pascal. I gotta say this right now. Damon's never gonna hear it, but Damon, our friend, looks a lot like Pedro Pascal, and weirdly enough, he is like my celebrity crush.
Yeah, for me, it goes Ryan Reynolds into him.
Yeah, Pedro is just a fantastic.
No, sorry, scratch that. Henry Cavill, Ryan Reynolds into him.
Yeah, fair enough.
I
couldn't help but the entire time I'm watching, I love and appreciate Joel, but at the same time, I could see Damon literally being Joel.
So, the very last scene. I know we've been jumping all over the place, but like, there's a lot to talk about. But this is an episode. We're not going to cover all the episodes.
Yeah,
we covered the episodes that we like.
Yeah. Oh, we still like them all, but
but. The thing is that for the very last episode, you get more of an emotion of why Joel did what he did at the end.
Mm-hmm.
You see Joel grow on Ellie and Ellie grow on him.
Yeah.
You see that like the spark of like, I need to protect her like I wasn't able to do for Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God! Every time I've said this multiple episodes, every time I watch the show or play the game, tears come out of this.
Mm-hmm. It's a hard final scene because you understand why Joel saves Ellie and why he essentially turns around and lies to her.
Yeah.
It's really tough, and you know what? I had a female friend who very much sided with Ellie in that final scene, and when we talked about it, like fucking years ago, she despised Joel for lying to Ellie in that way. And I get it more now. I realize that like Ellie wanted to be that noble sacrifice. She didn't realize she was gonna die, but
she knew that she was gonna help humanity.
Mm-hmm. And even in the end, where she says, "Okay, Joel, you have to promise me you weren't lying to me," like it's so tough. It's heartbreaking, but at the same time, it's like it's hard to empathize with Joel when at the same time you know his motivations.
Yeah, I'm with Joel 100%. I am with Joel because when I first played the game, I got it for Christmas, and I started playing it. And I only had Tori at the time, and when Sarah died, the feeling of being like, because I know like it will hit everybody differently, but when you're a dad and you're playing the game and that scene happens in the very fucking beginning, it does something to you. It makes you feel like it's one of those games where the reason why I want the tattoo of Firefly's tattoo is because it made me feel.
Yeah,
it's the first game to make me feel, and it's just the fact that like I'm not just taking my own like it personal from the game. I'm taking personal things from my life in with the game. And Joel's a dad. I'm a dad. At the time, it was only Tori. So every time I watched the fucking show, I had 2 other kids I got to worry about now.
Yeah.
Would I really have to sit through that and not show emotions? Like, dude, you're wrong.
No, you can't not show emotion. And if you are, if you can sit through it and not show emotion, I'd say you lack the understanding or the depth to really take in what you've just witnessed. Because like the fact that he puts in so much effort, he manages to get back, he saves his daughter, gets to a clear spot and says, "Here's a soldier, he's gonna help us." Guns and fucking down, like right there. It was like, wow. It's one thing both the show and the game do very well for The Last of Us is exemplifying all different types of humanity, all different types of lifestyles, and just what it means to be desperate in various different situations, and how when everybody's panicked, everybody's trying to survive, it really becomes a survival of the fittest. Kill what you fucking can.
Yeah. And what the game and the show does perfectly, it has an equal amount of balance between there's clickers, there's infected, there's something more out there than that.
Yeah,
but there's also humanity. You have to be careful because it's really hard to trust somebody when you don't know them. It's like in the scene where Joel tells Ellie to put her seatbelt on. Are we going to help that guy? I know what they're doing. I've done this before, and fucking floors it.
And it was a trap. They were set up. The fucking tires pop. They go off, and they're still trying to shoot them. And then, defending themselves, they all of a sudden become enemies of this rebellion who think, "Oh no, these 2 randos came in and just killed our men. They're assholes. Let's start a huge manhunt." And it's like there's a breakdown of communication, let alone societal values, to the point where everybody wants to protect themselves, protect their loved ones, but there's no moral code. Because at the end of the world, at the end of the apocalypse, morals don't necessarily matter.
They're out the window.
Yeah.
You do what you have to do.
Exactly.
And it's different from the show than the game. Because in the game, Ellie's like, "Oh, who are these people?" And Joel turns around, they're cannibals.
Yeah.
And I was like, "How do you know that?" I was one of them. Now,
he says it. I've had to do what I've had to do to survive. Like I've been there. Yeah. And he's not afraid to admit it. He doesn't enjoy admitting it to Ellie.
No, but he admits it and tells her that this is the struggles in humanity now, that she had no idea what it was because she was sheltered. She was in the fucking safe zones. Quarantine zones or whatever.
Oh, because she was born and raised.
Yeah.
Sort of in there. Yeah.
But yeah, but the last scene with Joel going to the hospital, as a dad, I would definitely do that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I would die first before they fucking killed my kids.
Yeah.
And I do agree with you and your friend. What Joel did to Ellie was wrong. But as because if you truly don't know unless you are a parent, that because of course you don't have kids, I have kids, so between lying is way different. You can legit just straight up lie to like a kid, like you know what, like whatever. But like when a parent lies to a kid, it's way different.
There's a lot more emotional weight behind it.
Yeah.
Because, like we talked about, Joel wants to protect Ellie. There's a huge shift from the episode where he's crying to Tommy, like, I can't do this. Like, I'm just gonna let her
She's
die.
your problem.
Yeah, and, like it's a breakdown of his character where it's like he knows he can help himself survive, but to protect someone else, like even after losing Ted, it's difficult for him. He can't rationalize it, especially when he cares so much for Ellie. And then the big swing happens where it's like, no, I will not let Ellie die. Like, I am her protector. And in order to do that, he decides to tell a white lie, like do what he can to keep her and himself alive.
That's what I think. What happens is when they had their fight before Ellie went off and Joel ends up being with them.
Yeah.
Is that Ellie turns around and says, "I'm not her.
Mm-hmm.
I am not Sarah."
Exactly.
And Joel's like, "You are treading on very thin ice."
Mm-hmm.
He actually says the exact same thing in the game.
Yep.
That's in the show, which is spot on because that's the perfect way to sum it up. And when there was the right thing for Ellie to say to him, to basically kick him in the ass and say, "Hey, I need you. I'm not her.
Like I can't do this on my own. I need
you to protect me. I need you. I need you."
And at that point, Tommy didn't want to risk his life. He had actually found something worth keeping.
Yeah. Which in the show is way different in the game because I don't want to go too much because
you actually meet Tommy in the game. He helps you like get a truck ready, right? Or is that the arc with Bill?
No, that's with arc with Bill.
Okay, yeah.
But with Tommy, you don't find the town yet.
Oh, okay. You only find Tommy's group, no?
You find like what Tommy's town, but Tommy doesn't bring you to the town yet.
Oh, okay.
It's only in the second game you kind of feel that town out. So
it's like an early allusion to it.
It's like Lord of the Rings from the first movie where they're doing oh shit.
Uh-oh, we lost audio.
Lost audio.
Uh-oh. Did our mics die?
Nope, there we go. Small technical difficulty there.
That was only for like a minute.
Only for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
But I think I knocked the thing over, so.
Whoopies.
Whoops. But, what was it talking about? Oh, yeah, it's Tommy. It's like Lord of the Rings, because in the book, the scene with Aragorn and Legolas and Gimli and Boromir of that scene where Boromir gets like shot with arrows, that's the beginning of the second book.
Really? Yep. Oh, okay. So big suspenseful drop off then into that.
Yeah, so it makes a big cliffhanger for the first movie on that scene, but then
they changed the order a little bit.
They changed the order a little bit, but in the books, it ends with them, I think, leaving Rivendell.
Yep.
And then it goes to the second book. Oh, they were like fighting each other.
So, yeah. You know what? And that was one thing I think we touched on it already. The pacing for the show was very good because you can't necessarily take a 50-hour-long game. I don't know if Last of Us was like 50 hours per se.
50 hours per se if you were just like, if you're just looking for it.
Yeah, if you stretched it out, you could get it about 50 hours. But you can't fit it at the very most 30 hours of gameplay into 8 episodes at an hour long piece. So the pacing was still very good for the show. It kept up the suspense. It kept up with the pace of the game. It like showed travel time while also like raising the stakes, right?
Yeah, and it was just I liked it because they actually showed characters from the second game into the first season, which I always say when someone talks about like they messed it up. It's like no, they're making it for people who haven't played the games yet. If you haven't played the games, the show is perfect for you to watch.
Yes, and
then go back to the video games and then play it to see what's different.
Yeah, and the video games are very fun. You can play it so differently than how like the characters interact in the show. Obviously, like key story beats are going to happen still, but the game is so much more immersive because there's the whole crafting system. You can take on enemies, you can sneak past them. Like you constantly have to work with the fact that you have Ellie by your side and you need to keep her moving as well.
Oh yeah, and just it's just amazing how they did the first season of The Last of Us.
Yeah.
when they do a season 2, I guarantee Walker's going to be coming over every fucking week to watch it.
Yes.
But holy fuck, it's such a good show.
Oh my god, it was damn well worth the watch. The first 2 episodes were like ridiculously long. I don't want to say ridiculously long, but they were.
There was a lot of stuff they had to cover in the first 2 episodes.
But it's like you said, if you didn't know the game at all, you come into it watching the TV series, you got all the information you needed while still feeling very much a part of the series. Yeah.
And like just fucking, if you want to know more about the series of the TV show, if you're watching it episode by episode, there is a podcast that's Joe's episode by episode. Or if you play the games or play the first game and not the second game, but play both, there is also podcasts that I'll put links in for you can go to. But holy shit, there's so much stuff that goes in that show and the game.
And I don't really remember all too well. It's just because the second game is good. You got it. It's a tough game to play through because I'm not going to spoil it because it'll be a spoiler for season 2 as well.
Not necessarily.
Fair enough. Either way, but don't they start in Tommy's village? If I'm remembering correctly, like they go back to Tommy's settlement.
No. They are.
Or they go to a new quarantine zone.
No, they.
I know in the game, like him and Ellie go back to like a safe space.
No, it's Tommy and Joel talking somewhere else than in town, because Joel is telling Tommy what happened at the hospital.
Yes. And
he's sitting there with the guitar that he's making for Ellie, like this, and wiping it down, making it because he knows how to make them, and tells him what went down. And Tommy's like, "Holy shit, Joel! Like,
why? Yeah."
And he just straight up tells him, I couldn't let them kill him.
Yeah.
And they ride off. They have horses. They ride to the town. They have to go back out. That's when.
You know what?
The second one's so hard to talk about because I have so much hate for one character, but then I understand why that character did it. And it tears me up because like I want to hate her, but I can't hate her at the same time because I actually grown to like the character.
Oh, that's it. Like I was in the same boat. I really disliked how the second game went. But looking back at it now, it's like, you know what? I want to give it another playthrough, like an honest, fucking just go through it because it's like I said before. The Last of Us shows the dredges of humanity, like what the lengths people will go to survive in such a scenario, and nobody's going to have the same moral code. Nobody's going to have the same objective because ultimately everybody wants to survive, and they're going to survive how they know best.
Oh yeah. So when season 2 comes out, we will do a season 2 review.
Yes.
We won't touch on the second game yet because, of course, it's season 2.
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm probably gonna end up purchasing the complete collection and playing through those games.
Man, I bought the second game for I think full price or half price because it was on sale. Yeah. But then when they remade it, when they made the
remaster of the first one,
No, they remade the first one.
Oh.
But they remastered the second game, which is fucking retarded. They didn't need to.
Yeah, and it was already pretty high quality.
It was like $50 for me to upgrade it.
You know what? I'm pretty sure PlayStation will have some friendly bundles. I'll look into it, but it's one of Sony's standalone games that really defined the genre, while also
it's what brought Naughty Dog back.
Yes.
And what brought Naughty Dog back? Oh my god,
there's just so much enjoyable content there, and if you want to look deeper, there's a lot more. If you want to just enjoy the fact that it's post-apocalyptic survival.
If you just want a zombie movie or a zombie game, it's perfect. If you want a show that has love interests and drama and zombies, perfect. If you want a game that survival type, perfect. It's everything.
And it has the emotional depth if that's something you give a shit about. Yeah. It has moral and ethical questions that man, is this something?
I'm going to tell Damon you said that, Walker.
That's okay. Damon knows I love him.
Yeah, only if Damon would watch or listen.
Nah, he doesn't watch.
Nah, he won't listen. But holy shit. Oh,
yeah.
I didn't do we were gonna do characters of the first season. Favorite characters in the first season. Did we do that?
Yeah, we did do that. Yeah. Ellie was my favorite character.
Yeah,
Like, as much as Joel is awesome, I love Joel so much. I love Pedro Pascal. Kudos to you, Damon. No, Bella Ramsey played a very good Ellie, and the fact that she pulled out like the comic book or the pun book and was reading the jokes like she does in the game, like that was just such a fun little addition, and it allowed the character depth.
There was a lot of stuff between Joel and Ellie that was from the game that was in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like the scene where they're driving down the highway and Ellie's like, "Why are the pages sticky?" And Joel's like, I gotta.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
Oh, I gotta talk. Oh God, I gotta talk to them. And she turns around. I know what sex is, Joel.
Okay, there's another funny thing. I liked all the little scenes where Ellie would find toilet paper, and that's what she would grab. Or when they were in the gas station, she found some tampons. Oh, fucking big score! Puts those in her bag.
Yeah.
And like, I think that's really funny because like the fact that female hygiene products are very useful. They're very helpful to women, obviously. And in the apocalypse, you're not going to find that shit. So as a young adult, like encountering something that's like, oh, this helps me out. Like it's a very
I'm able to do what I need to do.
Yeah, it's a very human moment for Ellie, and it's like, you know what, that is representation in like a good way. They just did so much right with both the show and the game. I could not be more pleased with it.
I'm so glad that they were able. No, and the fun fact is, because I did not know this, the girl who played Ellie,
Bella Ramsey,
apparently bi.
Yeah, she comes across as bi.
She came on an interview and she said it was easy for her to get in the character for Ellie because she wasn't attracted to either or gender, but it was easy for her to get gender the character because if you haven't played the games, it's very heavily like not heavily there, but Ellie is lesbian.
Yes, you see it in the DLC, which they made an entire episode,
which was
based on the DLC. Yes, like in the original game, if you don't have that DLC, you don't understand how Ellie gets
the remake and remastered, it gets added.
Which is good, like because it's such an important story element that the fact that they included it and made it almost a whole episode, like it was so important. It's good to see where she gets bit, like how her relationship with her friend was. I'm going to say it right now. I am uncomfortable with watching minors' kids. I understand that there was a love relationship there, but it's like at a certain point, maybe you shouldn't show that shit on TV. But
it's not like they're like getting undressed.
Yeah, no, it was very tame, but it was.
I can understand from somebody's point of view, like they shouldn't be doing that. But for like the context of the episode and like what Ellie was trying to like confess her love for her best friend.
And it was very well done. Like just it shows the human emotion and the fact that her best friend was trying to say goodbye in a very holistic way, and Ellie, who has had everyone abandon her, essentially hating the fact that this was I'm buttering you up to say goodbye.
Exactly.
If you're an empathetic person, you definitely feel that. Like
when I would watch that episode, it cut deep because like with a best friend, right? Like for me, it was like playing Miles Morales. Like I cried at the end of it because like if you haven't played it, your friend is the main villain in the game.
Yeah.
But your friend like basically sacrifices herself for you because she's like, I gotta do this for you, and like it just brought tears to my eyes because like you want a best friend like that.
Yeah.
Like it's like the show, the game is just an emotional roller coaster.
But it keeps you engaged. That's why there's so much goodness to it.
Oh yeah.
So if at this point you haven't watched or played any of the games, there's a lot of playthroughs on YouTube. You can definitely find the access to the show. Give it a view. Like even like just touch up on.
Just go to your Target or Walmart and just fucking purchase it for like $20.
Yeah.
That's DVD, but Blu-ray, way to go.
Yeah.
But for characters for me, I gotta say it's Joel and Bill, just like the game.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like they are very stoic and they are the manly dad type characters.
But the thing is, I like Joel's character in the show way better than the game.
Yes. Oh my god.
Pedro Pascal was doing such amazing. Fun fact is apparently when he got offered the job, he called his nephews, like his sister,
yeah,
because he doesn't have any kids. But he called his nephew and said, her sister had it on speaker. Hey guys, I just got offered a job. It's like, oh, like what is it? Like, oh, it's a role in a movie, on a TV
show. Yeah.
Oh, what TV show? The Last of Us. They legit screamed on the phone, say, "You're gonna play The Last of Us? Are you gonna play Joel?" And like they already guessed who they were, who's eyeballed for.
Oh, even that, like he looks very close to the original like Joel character in the game.
So in the show, you know how when Tess like tells him that like he like show me, like when she got bit.
Yeah.
And she shows him. He jerks.
Yep.
That's not in the game. He doesn't know the character in the game. Everything you see in the show is not related to Joel's character in the game.
Okay.
It's his own portrayal of Joel.
Yeah.
Which is amazing because it's basically Joel from the game.
Yeah, it's Joel from the game, but his own interpretation of it, and like he does so goddamn well.
I love the small details, like when he's in like washing his hands from the blood, his hands are shaking because he legit gets the shit out of the fucking guard.
Oh my god!
And it's still there, his hands shaking like this, and he's like washing the blood off. And like every once in a while, you'll see him catch himself looking at his watch. That's exactly like the game. Because the guy who made the game says, "Oh, we need to make people make them feel that like Sarah's still there, but we can't have Joel talk about Sarah like every once in a while." When like
as a stoic man, you don't talk about that shit, and that's kind of how Joel is. You don't bring it up or he gets upset. Sort of
and if you see when Joel like gets down on like hard himself, you see him play with his watch, or he looks down and quickly you look at his watch. It's a reminder of like what happened to Sarah.
Yeah,
that's why it's so hard for him to help Ellie out. But at the end, he realizes that Ellie is his redeemed. If he helps Ellie out, he can redeem himself for Sarah.
And I think in a lot of ways, it brings about that same overarching message where you got it from the Bill and Frank episode. If you have someone to live for and protect, and someone to live with, like, you know, whether it's a father-daughter relationship or whether it's a companion-type relationship, that's what makes surviving worth doing, right?
That's what makes life worth living. And like the game is, as I said, it's an emotional roller coaster because I have no idea how you felt about most of the episodes. I voiced my opinions about the fucking episodes. Holy shit,
gorgeous, man! Like I said, like I texted you, like it was just a fantastic show. Like there's not a lot of good like video games to like TV or movie adaptations. The Last of Us did it very fucking well.
The only reason why is because the guy who made the game had some influence of creating the show because he saw what happened to Uncharted.
Oh god, I have not watched Uncharted,
dude. It personally for me, it's so fucking good.
Really?
I watched it 3 times in the theaters, but Roy, fucking 3 times in the theaters. I bought tickets, wasn't able to go because of the weather, because I had a whole bunch of seat points.
Yeah.
Got tickets again, so wasted 2 tickets. Got tickets again, wasted 4 tickets because of fucking weather. Finally watching the theaters. Then watching the theaters again. And I watched it again. It was so good.
I imagine Tom Holland did play a good Nathan Drake, but
Tom Holland legit pinpointed all his movies.
Really?
Because he got in an interview, he turned around. The guy's like, "Oh, if you played a superhero movie, what superhero would you play?" He's like, "Most likely, I would like to play Spider-Man." Boom, 3 movies.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Oh, if you had a choice between a video game, what video game would you want to play in?"
I do remember that.
Uncharted.
Yeah.
He plays a good Nathan Drake, and I was skeptical on Mark Wahlberg
Oh,
on Sully,
yeah.
but man, it grew on me.
It worked? Okay.
It worked out.
I'm going to have to watch that movie. I
Guess what you're borrowing?
Ooh, another DVD!
You're going to borrow the last Uncharted. I think you'd like it.
Oh, God, yeah.
I'm not going to spoil anything.
You know what? That's fair.
Man,
There's a zoom.
it's so. You know what? Next time we're going to do fucking Uncharted.
We've got lots of fun, different ideas
Yeah.
planned. We'll see what our next episode
Holy
is.
shit, I'm going to let you borrow it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So The Last of Us, he wanted more control because he saw how different the last Uncharted was.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't too much that was from the game that Naughty Dog had. I understand why he wanted some control because The Last of Us is his baby. It was his baby. He made it from the ground up, and he made a second game for it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's making a third one now. He's making a part 3.
So excited. Okay.
There was rumors that there was making one, but they got turned down because of what happened in the second game. But I'm actually kind of glad they're doing part 3.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens after the fact that look what happens to Ellie.
Yeah, and you know what? It's just not relying on a certain set of characters is okay. It's nice because The Last of Us is about the last of humanity.
Yeah.
The whole idea is people surviving.
But it is going to follow Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like what happens after the second game.
Yeah.
Which I won't get into detail. But in other words, like I like Pedro Pascal's character of Joel.
Mm-hmm.
Just right away I'm like, this is my dude.
Yeah. Just
Bill.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I loved him.
Mm-hmm. Like it was very well cast, very well acted.
Yeah.
Like
really well planned out too. It was,
mm-hmm.
The episodes were on point.
Mm-hmm.
There were some boring parts, but the boring parts were needed.
Yes, you got to have that proper exposition to understand what's going on. Like you said, you don't need to play the game to understand what's going on in the TV show.
And that's the thing. That's why when what was it? For Uncharted, it was meant for people who played the games, but also meant for people who haven't played the games.
Exactly.
When they make games into movies, they do it in a way where people who haven't played them can watch them.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Mortal Kombat. The new one, oh my god, I like that one.
Really?
I like the new one.
Fair enough.
It was a way for someone to like sit there and say, oh, like that's cool, like that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But like, would they get in the game? Probably not. But those who want to know more about the lore about the game or want to play it, boom, right there, you got more fucking people playing it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we are getting close to our time here.
Yes.
Yeah. If you've appreciated us listening to or boasting about The Last of Us, like watch it, play the games. It is a damn good series. It is worth investing a little bit of time and money.
I will have to give the game 9.5.
No, you know what?
I mean, the movie.
The show. You know what? Very acceptable.
9.5.
That makes sense.
I won't give great 10 because some things they could have done a little bit better, but it's still high up there.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Well, thank you for listening. You have not heard The Last of Us, and until then,
stay frosty. We're still on.
That's okay.
Hi, Cole. Hi. So that was a fun episode. We're still live on YouTube. It doesn't really fucking matter.
Yeah.
Whatever. But the thing is, that was fun. Yeah. Peace out, y'all. Bye.